Be gracious. Some of us are still bruised from yesterday's battles. Some of us are hurting but healing. Some of us are finding the shapes and patterns of where we fit in, and we are running out of places that feel like home. We are wearing thin on empty promises. We are tired and fragile and fumbling, and sometimes we are not at our best, and it shows. So be gracious. I promise I'm trying, and will be gracious too. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Epoxy Me That. How are you? I hope doing okay. And I want to thank you for showing up today. Today is Coasting Through the Week Coaster Wednesday. It's a collaboration between 3 other artists and myself. That's Mary from Resin Me Up, Marva from Marvelous Artsy, and Laura from Laura's Design Studio. And what we do on Wednesdays is we coast through the week in a coaster mold. I'm going to be using these 2 coasters as my mold today. So if you have a YouTube channel and you like using coaster molds, creating anything in a coaster mold, then why don't you join us? You can reach out to any of the channels that I mentioned, Resin Me Up, Marvelous Artsy, Laura's Design Studio, or myself, and send us the link to your video, and we'll make sure we get you in there, my friend. We're going to be making Christmas ornaments again. I love making Christmas tree ornaments. I just like getting crafty with it and finding all different ways to make a Christmas tree ornament. And I hope that I'm not wearing you all out with the Christmas tree ornaments. If I am, let me know in the comment section below and we'll switch it up a bit. Okay, what I thought we would do here is I grabbed these DIY ball ornaments from my Dollar Tree or Dollar General for $1. I'm pretty sure they have them at the Dollar Tree too. And we're going to take one of these cute little elf stickers. I'm going to use this one and this one because I think they'll fit the best in there. See, no, that one will fit too. Okay, all of them, any of them will fit. I may have to cut a little bit off of that one, but not much. But we're going to use these 2. And we're going to lay down some resin with white in it first. Let that get to a sticky state. And then we're going to place our sticker in on top of that. And then take this ball here. And I'm going to take my snippers. Get that off of there first. Sometimes when you do this, you end up cracking the ball. But we have 4 tries here. So hopefully we'll get it on one of them. I'm going to start on this side and just nip it, not crack it, just nip it and then go over here and nip it off. But how we're going to put this in here is going to be tricky. So hopefully I can get it done how I envisioned it. It may not work out, I don't know, but we're going to give it our best shot. I want to put some of this right here inside of our little ball here. And maybe a few other things to shake around in it. I don't know. We might do something else, but we'll see. So that's what we're going to do. So if you'd like to see how I get on with that, kick back, relax, and let's get to it. I got my resin mixed up right here. I'm using the Bond Crafter epoxy resin. And then I'm going to be using my T-Expert epoxy pigment paste in white. And then we're going to give it a little bit of a color with my Galaxy Chameleon Matio mica powder. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of that mica in there. I'm just going to put about that much. Just a hefty little scoop. And then I'm going to get about that much of my pigment paste. Not much. It doesn't take a whole lot of pigment paste to color your resin. Okay, we're going to let that sit and degas for about 5 minutes, and then I'll meet you back. We are ready to go ahead and spritz some alcohol in our coasters. And that's going to help out with the bubbles on the edges and in the bottom. Now I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stir. Not much, just a little. And now let's go ahead and pour. Just going to try to get them as equal as I can. Now I'm going to take my heat gun and run it through there and pop any surface bubbles. And then I'm going to spritz some alcohol. And now we're going to go ahead and let them, we're not going to let them fully cure, but almost. So I'll let you know how long that is from now. So I will see you later. We got our coasters, and I went ahead and let them fully cure because I thought that'd be best. So now we're going to go ahead and get our little, I don't know what kind of stickers these are, y'all. But it seems like you peel them up like this, I guess. Maybe they're DTF. Just gonna cut it out right here. And then place it down. There we go. And I was just real careful not to push my coaster and break the suction that it has. Because if you do that, then your next pour is going to go over the edges inside your piece there. So don't do that. And I think the other one I want, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pick him right here. He's cute. Let's see if I can get this one out the same way I did that other one. Come on. Now let's get him on there just right. We might have to trim this one a little bit. Yep, I'm just going to trim that right there because see how it's hanging off the edge, and we don't want that. So I'm just going to take my scissors and just nip it. And then take my tweezers and pull it. Now we're ready to do our next pour. And I know some of you may say, well, Tammy, why didn't you just make a coaster set with those cute little elves? You know, there are 4 of them. Well, don't you know I'm in coasting through the week? And I got tons of coasters laying around the house. So I thought I'd do some Christmas tree ornaments. I have my resin, and I ran it through my airless Pro Bubble Remover machine. This is the Bond Crafter epoxy resin. It's a 1-to-1. I mixed part A with part B for 5 minutes on my Resiner's mixer. So what we're going to do now is spritz some alcohol into the molds. And then we're going to put down some of this resin. And I've got this mold right here to the side in case I have any left over. There's one of my hairs in there. That's got to go. Could you imagine a jet black hair in your Christmas ornament? That wouldn't be obvious, would it? All right, so let's see here. I think those look good. Yeah, I'm not going to add any more resin to them. We're going to take the heat gun and we're going to move it across there, pop any surface bubbles. And then we're going to spritz a little bit of alcohol. Now I have Laura's Art Corner's Baby Love. I was really in between these, the Pure Love or the Baby Love. The Pure Love has like a little pink tint to it, or iridescent. I don't know. Both of them's iridescent, but this one is got a little pink tint to it. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let's see if I can get you down. Maybe you can see it. See the difference? But I'm thinking more we might go with this one. Now, I love the Mirror Mirror too, but I think that's going to be too much for these. And I don't want the glitter to hide our elves. So I just want to add a little bit, if that makes sense. And y'all know how I am with a little bit. So I'm going to try to take my little spoon here and get just a little on it and tap it like that. And then get my little silicone, or almost, it's silicone tipped, but I'm going to use this end. And kind of move that glitter around. I don't think y'all could see that other coaster. I'm sorry. Let me get you up a little bit so you can see both of them. We're just going to move that glitter around in there until I'm happy with it. But I'm not going to move around in there fast because we don't want to create any bubbles because we just got the bubbles out of the resin. So we don't want to be adding any more to it. Okay, I think it needs a little bit more glitter. What do y'all think? Yeah? I think it needs a little bit more. So for my extra resin that I have left over, we're going to pour it in this phone right here. I've never cast it in this one on the end here, so I'm really excited. I laid down some black resin in there and cleaned it up really good to bring out everything in the phone. So we're going to try out this, I don't know what that is in there. We're going to try out this metallic alcohol inks that was gifted to me in some Happy Mail. So I picked out the metallic pink, metallic cerulean, and metallic lemon yellow. And we're going to do all three of those colors in the phone. And then I'm going to add some more glitter to my little elves here while we have a little bit of a story time. So I'm not going to be telling you what I'm doing because we're having story time. So I just walked you through what I'm going to do. Get situated here. Okay. So y'all all know that when I went to church the other night, we had our Thanksgiving at church. And then we had, after we ate, we had an auction. And everyone brought things to the auction. So I brought a bunch of my resin pieces. And I mean, I took the ones that I had in my shop. I took the ones that I had in my shop out, and I brought those up there. And y'all know I made a beautiful hummingbird phone stand, and then a really nice bass fish phone stand. And if you've never seen my phone stands before, I'll try to throw up a picture here, a few of them here for you. I go all out on them. It takes me days, sometimes a week, to finish these. And to me, they are truly art. I mean, truly art. Well, I brought them up there. Not just the phone stands, it was several other things. Y'all know I made that big tray, that big fall tray, wooden tray. Well, I brought that too. I told myself, one of my friends says, now make sure you tell a little bit about it and how much it's worth and this and that. Well, I had decided. I put on there who it was from and everything, but I didn't give a price because I wanted to know what people thought it was worth. And I went into it knowing that I could be excited or disappointed. But my resin pieces don't sell up at the shop that I have them in. The only thing I really sell are badge reels and earrings and keychains. My other pieces, they just don't sell. And people pick them up and they think, oh, this is nothing but plastic. She wants too much for that. They don't look at it as art. And that's what it is. Now, had a big painting been sitting there, then it would have been different. Oh, the value would have went up on it. But we're just not at a place right now where resin art is really valued at true art. Now, the paintings and the acrylic paintings and stuff like that, yeah, they definitely are. The river tables, yeah, they definitely are. But all the other stuff that we do, people just don't see it as art. And a lot of it's functional art. So, anyway, I'm getting off into Rantville here. They brought up my hummingbird phone stand. And the pastor said, start the bid out at $20. I thought, wow. And nobody raised their hand but one person, and she got that for $20. Then he got the bass fish one out, and a little kid raised his hand. At least he gave $30 for it. He did. He was like 10 years old, and he wanted that bass fish phone stand. So he got it for $30. And I thought, oh, look what I did, y'all. Look what I did. Oh, my word. What are we going to do now? Okay, let's continue. Let me move these though. So my my resin pieces sold for next to nothing. Now, the wooden tray, that did all right. It actually did really good. It wasn't just all right. It did really good. I was very pleased with how much that brought in. It brought in $75. You know, that was really nice. But I could not believe all the time I put in on that hummingbird phone stand. Do y'all remember how beautiful that thing was? Man. And I started to hold it back and not bring it. But I said to myself, no, you bring it. You bring two of them, a man and a woman one. So that's what I did. Oh, it really upset me. It really did. I came home and my husband was like, well, he didn't go with me. It was me and my mom. He's real shy. He doesn't like to go out to a lot of public events. So, I didn't talk much. And he probably knew there was something bothering me, but he didn't know what it was. So he didn't press the issue. So I did tell him about it the next day, and then it all made sense to him. But yeah, it really upset me. And I went to bed, you know, with all these thoughts, all these negative thoughts in my head about, am I going in the right direction? What am I doing? You know, it made me really, really bummed out, my friends. But right now, I'm okay. I'm back to my old self now. But it put me in a place of just horrible thoughts and feelings. But I just wanted to share that little story with you all. And I wanted to know, do you feel the same way? Do you experience those things where you live at? Do people not want to buy your art because they feel like it's just a piece of plastic? You know? And if so, then hang in there. I would really urge you to hang in there because I think that, I truly believe this. One day, resin art is going to truly be valued for what it is. And it's not just a piece of plastic. Someone's time and thoughts and feelings, emotions, everything, some of their life went into that piece. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. All right, let's go ahead and heat this up a little bit. Get those colors to moving around a little bit. And then I'm going to put some of my T-Rex white alcohol ink behind it. And we'll see how that turns out. Now we're going to add a little bit more of the glitter to these. And I have a little bit of resin left in this cup, so that'll probably replace what we lost out of them. That one wasn't that much, but this one lost a little bit more. Maybe that'll work. I'm going to take my heat gun and run it back through there. There were some bubbles in that cup. And spritz some alcohol. And now we're going to go ahead and add that glitter to them. But what really upset me the most about it all is the lady that won the bid, because nobody else bid on it. She is she's a member in the church. You know, she actually answers the phones during the day. You know, they pay her to actually do that job there at the church. You know, so it's not like she didn't know what she was doing. When we were bringing our pieces in, she looked at that hummingbird stand and she said, "Oh, I want to get that for my mother. She loves hummingbirds." She said, "I hope I win it." And I told her, and she heard me. I said a lot of time went into that piece. And for her to, you know, not even, there were many times she corrected the pastor when he would hold up a piece. And he'd be like, "Let's start the bid at $40. She would say, "No, no, no, no. You need to go higher on that one." You know, so it's not like she didn't know. So I guess that's why it affected me the most. At that time, you know, it doesn't bother me now. I was blessed in that way. I don't hold on to things. When I wake up the next day, it's completely different for me, you know? And I've always been that way. My husband tells me all the time, he says, "I wish I could be more like you." You know, because when something like that happens to him, he holds on to it. And it affects him for a long time. I'm working on him, y'all. I'm working on him. He's come a long way. He really has. And hopefully, one day he'll be able to let it go, just like I do. I have faith in him. He's doing so much better than what he used to about stuff like that. All right, I'm just adding a few pieces of glitter in here, placing it right where I want it. And then we will go ahead and let these cure up. And I'm not real sure how we're going to move forward with them. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants on this one. I know what I want. I'm just not quite sure how to get there. So we're going to figure this one out together. All right, I think that's plenty. I'm not going to add any more. And I'm just going to take this right here and return it back to my little glitter pod. And that way I don't lose any of my glitter. So now we're going to run the heat gun over them one more time. Then we're going to spritz them with a little bit of alcohol and cover them, and I'll meet you back for demold. See you later. Our coasters are ready. So I already snipped this one off, the little hanger, so we're going to put that one on there. And then let's get this one snipped off. And if you don't have any goggles on, you need to close your eyes when you're snipping these so they don't pop up in your eye. So we have an extra one. And when you're picking those out, when you're shopping for them, make sure you get some that aren't scratched. So those fit in there perfectly. Now, I bet you're wondering, well, what are we going to do next, Tammy? Okay, here's my idea. Let's go ahead and fill up what we want inside of our ornaments. Okay. So I know I want some of these Merry Christmas things. So we're going to drop some of those down in there. Looks like there's more red in that one. Let's get a few green over there. Or maybe there's too many green in this one. Okay. Now let's dig down in here and get some of this snow out. I kind of want to add some of these in there too. But I know they're going to go everywhere. I guess we'll just say no to that. Okay, let's see what we're looking like. Okay, you can still see everything in there. So let's add a little bit. Let's take some of that out because that's like too much. Okay. I want to add some of these little lollipops. And then some of these little Christmas inclusions. So now let's take a peek-see. No, we still need more stuff. Let me see what else I can gather. Woohoo! I hit the jackpot. This is my little Christmas thing here. So let's get... We're going to snip off the little hangers. Oops. And put them in there. And let's put 2 each. I want one of that color and one of that color. Close your eyes when you're snipping these. So that way you don't get it in your eye. Unless you have goggles on. And then let's put a pine cone in. A pine cone. And let's put some bells. Little bells in there. Jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to fill my ornaments today. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yay! Now, let's see what we got in there now. Let's do some candy. So, let's see what we got going on. Yes, that's definitely cute. I love it. Love it, love it. But we need a little bit more of the Christmas inclusions, the little bitty pieces. Let's get some of these little candies and throw in there. Now, perfect. Yes, that's it right there. That did it. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. And you can still see our little elf. Very good. Okay, so that one's ready. Now let's check this one. Yes, that'll work. Perfect. They're so stinking cute. We cannot put resin in there because if we do, it's going to seep underneath our ball into our inclusions. So what we're going to do is we're going to make that ball perfect. Give us about that much room in between the ball and the mold all the way around. Okay? And then we're going to set it down. And then we'll set that one over there till we get this one done. I'm going to get my UV light out. And we're going to take this UV resin. And we're going to drop a little bit of it in there. And then we're going to cure it up. But we got to make sure we get it all the way around that ball so we can seal the ball in. Cure that up, and then we can put our next layer of resin to lock everything in, and we can demold the back and have our ornament. All right. I'm wondering if it would be easier to take it out of the mold and do it, or would it be easier to leave it in there? Let's go ahead and take it out. And that way we can reach it and get to everything. And I can tell how much UV resin I'm putting on and everything. Yeah. And then when that cures, we can drill our holes up top. You know what? We probably ought to go ahead and drill our hole in there. And put our eye pin screw in. And that way that'll be drying. Right along with the resin we put in there. So yeah, that'll work. We're going to go ahead and do our little holes. So I'm just going to go right about there. Go in there. Alright, I got my eye pin screw. I got my Gorilla Glue. And we're just going to get the tip of that eye pin screw with the glue on it. And that's going to hold our eye pin in the hole and dry there. And then we won't have to worry about it coming out. Because the coaster is going to fully cure around it, that resin. And then we're going to have the glue as a backup plan to make sure it doesn't come out. There we go. Now I'm going to do that one the same way, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, I screwed some in the bottom too, so we could put something hanging from the bottom as well. I'm not sure what, but I'll find something cute. Or I'll make something and we can demold it together. I'm not sure. I'll have to see what I got in my little bucket down there. Okay, let's go ahead and get... I'm going to lay these on paper towel just in case they leak or something. let me go ahead and put our, I'm going to use the 1 hour fast cure on these. So I'm going to go ahead and put some on the turner, and I'll be back and we can go ahead and do this while that's turning. All right. We got to be quick. Not too quick. We don't want to mess up. All right. We don't have long with that 1 hour fast cure, so we kind of do need to be a little bit on the quick side. Now, we don't want to get any of this resin on our ball, so we got to be very careful. Now, I'm going to hold the ball with this hand right here. And then I'm going to try to get as close as I can over here. Now I'm going to take this stick and I'm just going to move it around and make sure we have it covered everywhere. Up against the ball. All right, I think we're good. So I'm going to turn the light on and let it cure. And I'll meet you back when it's finished. Okay. I had two lights running at the same time, so we could be faster. Now let's check and make sure we got our balls on there really good. Hopefully. Okay, hopefully we do. Now we're going to take our, let me make sure we got both of them at the top. Yeah. Now we're going to take this 1 hour Promise epoxy, and I need to get a smaller stick. Let's use this one. And we're just going to go around and put it right up against the ball, but right on the lip of the coaster. I'll get you down so you can see what I'm talking about. See, I'm just doing one little drop at a time so we don't go over the edge on our coaster. Right like that. I'm going to turn it and do another little drop right here. And then I'm going to keep going around it like that until we get it filled all around the edges. Okay? Okay, I have both balls done. So now, since we're using the 1 hour fast cure Promise epoxy, I know it's going to cure fast. So I'm going to try to get these lights around the edges and get them to stay there without making a mess. So let's see if I can do that. I wonder if I should wait a little bit to let it cure a little bit more before I attempt it. Yeah, I think I might let it get a little bit thicker. That way we're not losing it off of the side. Okay, I've let it sit for about 15 minutes. So let's give it a try. Okay, now I'm gonna cut it off right there. Bring that one around there. Now we're gonna let that one cure up. On this one, let's put this around it. Make it a little bit different. And I'm just gonna stick it right on that resin. There we go. Perfect. Now we're going to let it cure. I'm going to put these little pieces of snow up against it so it hides that resin that we put there. Because you can see it. I just want a nice finish on it. So I'm just going to go around it and put these little snowballs on there. By the way, they just went all over my floor when I opened up that bag. So now I got a big old mess. These cure, and we'll put the little ribbons and something dangling off the bottom there, and then we'll be finished. See you later. While that's curing, we are going to take these little glass jars here, and we're going to fill them up with a little bit of green glitter. So I'm just going to put a little bit in this cup here. And I'm going to get a little tiny spoon. And then I'm just going to put it down in my little container until I'm happy with how much I've got in there. Now I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to get some of these little Christmas inclusions out. I'm going to get that little candy cane and stick it in there. Alright, now we're gonna, that's how they look. So we're gonna take this Loctite, I don't know what that means, repositionable gel. I must have picked the wrong one up. I don't even know what that is. And my husband got my other one. So we're going to have to use my Gorilla Glue. We're just going to take it and get a little bit on the wooden part there. And then stick it down in here. And don't turn it around again until it's dry, because then this will stick to the lid. So we need to keep it in an upright position until it dries. Our little glass containers are dry. So now we can shake them and the glue won't trap them up there. And now our tops won't come off. But let's go ahead and put this on the bottom of our... Oh, and I did put my bows on. And I didn't make those. I bought those. Right here. And all I did was pulled it off of there. Ran it through my little, my pin screw. My eye pin screw. That's the word. I put it through there and then twisted it in the back and cut off the excess. So we're gonna, and I put some little jump rings on the bottom here. So let's open those up. I put them on there so we could move through this rather quickly. I don't know how long the video is, but it's got to be pushing it. I'm going to put one bail on. And then I'm going to put the glass on. If I can get it through there, I got to open it up a little bit more. And then I'm going to put the last bail on. And now I'm going to try to close it up without losing anything. Woohoo! We did it! And there it is. I think it's so cute. Now I'm going to do this one. Okay, I've got them both done now. And I went and got some little hangers for them. So we're just going to run those right through there. And I love these little hangers because they snap. See there? And I can tug on it pretty good and it's not coming out. See, I had to really pull that out to get it to release. And they come in really big. You get a lot of them. I'll link them in my description box. But like everything else, you get a whole lot of these in a bag. You're going to have some that you're just going to throw away. That's just how it is. You're going to have some in the bag that are not going to be functional. But for the price and all of them that you get, it's not going to be a big thumbs down. So, all right. I think these turned out so stinking cute. I absolutely love them. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below, my friends. Oh, and right quick, let's see if we can sneak this in without her seeing. I made the Dragonfly. Y'all want to see it? Now, I still have to make the, I'm in the process of making her bottom piece. Now, I put some of that plastic wrap on there. And I'm going to dust a chameleon powder. Do y'all see that? I pulled the paper off it already. It's fully cured. So I'm going to dust a chameleon powder on there. But I want to get this out first and see what color I'm going to use. But that's going to be the bottom. Now I'm working on what we're going to put for the other piece over here. I hope this turned out pretty. I did this in 3 stages, my friends, and I'm hoping it's going to be beautiful. I worked really hard on it. Oh, it's pretty. Look at that. Oh, this is beautiful. I don't know if you are seeing what I can see, but since I've done it in 3 different pours, that very last pour it's got like a green chameleon in it, and it's peeking through a little bit on, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful, my friends. But you see this right here? That's not a bubble. That is not a bubble. In the mold right here, let me show you. I didn't notice this either until I started working in the mold. This mold's brand new. I purchased it off of Etsy. So I am going to contact the seller. There is a piece missing in the mold. Can y'all see it? Right there. That's missing. You see over here? That right there is supposed to be right there. And it's gone. They snatched it off when they took their master out. And they just sold it like that. Now, if they knew what they were doing, that's horrible. But if they didn't know, now I don't know how they couldn't know. Because I check my molds. And this was a 3D printed mold. You can tell. Do you see the lines in it? It's made with a 3D printer. Which, that's fine. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. It doesn't bother me. It's beautiful. I love it. But that is not very nice to sell a mold like that. And this was not cheap. It was not cheap. I think I paid $25 for this mold. I wanted to get something nice for her. Because she does so much for everybody. And it makes me so stinking mad. Well, the only thing I know to do, friends, is to put a little rhinestone there and one over there. But it's going to be beautiful. So let me know what y'all think we should put right here. I know a lot of people said lotus, lily pad. We need to decide on it. Because that's the one thing that's holding me back. I can't decide. But I do like the idea that somebody mentioned a little glass vial with mica powder in it. If we could tie that in with maybe a lotus lily pad or something, I think that would be beautiful. But we got to figure out how we're going to tie all that in together. All right. Let me know what color you think I should dust the bottom of this with. Let me know what you think. I'm thinking... I don't know what I'm thinking. I just don't want to mess it up. I want it to be beautiful. So let me know. Let me know what you think. And here's our little extra that we had. Our little phone. And we use these metallic alcohol inks that I received in some Happy Mail. So let's see how they turned out. Oh, that's pretty neat. Let's see if you can see it better down here. Those are really pretty. Really pretty. I put too much white in it. But I think it's pretty. It's still pretty. What do you think? Let me know, friends. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial today, making some Christmas tree ornaments. Buckle up because you're going to see a lot of them. I really enjoy making Christmas tree ornaments. I hope you all have a very blessed Thanksgiving. I hope you eat so much food that you almost pop. And stay away from the sweet potato casserole. Just box it up and send it to me. I'll take care of that. But I hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving and have a beautiful, blessed day with your friends and family. And I'm going to try to do the same, my friends. And it's about that time for a sweet goodbye. And I will see you in the next video. God bless you. Goodbye, my friends.